The bustling city street fell silent for a heartbeat until a German shepherd suddenly crashed in front of a roaring luxury car. The Mafia son behind the wheel snarled with fury, kicking the dog and lunging at the officer. Chaos erupted. Nobody expected what would happen next. Before we start, make sure to hit like, share, and subscribe. And really, I'm curious, where are you watching from? Drop your country name in the comments. I love seeing how far our stories travel. The morning sun reflected off the city streets, casting long shadows across the cobblestones. Officer Maya adjusted her uniform and checked her canine partner, Rex, a trained German shepherd with a keen sense of danger. The two had patrolled these streets countless times, their silent teamwork almost instinctive. Civilians passed by, some smiling at the duo, others too busy with their own routines to notice the quiet vigilance of law enforcement. A sleek red sports car purred down the avenue, drawing glances from pedestrians. Its polished chrome hinted at wealth and power, the kind that could bend rules and intimidate even seasoned officers. Maya's senses tingled subtly, a warning she had learned not to ignore. Rex sniffed the air, ears twitching, alert to the unseen currents of tension. There was something in the atmosphere, a charge beneath the ordinary bustle, that signaled today would not be like any other dot without warning. Rex darted forward, landing squarely in front of the sleek red sports car. The sudden movement startled the driver, and the car screeched to a halt. Officer Maya rushed forward, hand on her canine's harness, but it was too late. Chaos had erupted. The Mafia son behind the wheel flung the door open, his face twisted with rage. "Get out of my way!" he barked, his voice dripping with menace. Rex growled low, teeth bared, refusing to back down. The Mafia son's fists clenched, and he kicked the dog viciously. Maya shouted, trying to pull him back, but he shoved her to the ground, her uniform scraping against the pavement. Bystanders froze, phones raised, capturing every tense moment. The street became a whirlwind of shouting, angry engines, and panic. Maya's single quotes, heart pounded, fear and anger warring inside her. Rex whimpered but stayed alert, defensive and brave. The Mafia son's guards appeared instantly, surrounding the duo, ready to escalate. Maya realized this was more than a random confrontation. It was a test of courage, a clash of power and principle. Every second felt like an eternity as the city held its breath, waiting for what would happen next. A sudden roar of footsteps cut through the chaos, and all eyes turned to the source. Marcus, Maya's husband and a highly trained Navy SEAL, emerged from the crowd, his gaze locking on the scene with laser focus. Time seemed to slow as he assessed the Mafia son, the guards, and the snarling Rex. Without hesitation, he moved with precision, every step controlled and purposeful, exuding an aura of unstoppable force. The Mafia son's smug expression faltered as Marcus closed the distance, his presence alone radiating authority. He didn't speak, words weren't needed. With a swift, practiced motion, Marcus intercepted the first guard swinging at Maya, neutralizing him effortlessly. The Mafia son lunged at Rex again, but Marcus was faster. With a single motion, he positioned himself between the dog and the attacker, his hand gripping the man's collar, twisting him away with expert control. Crowd murmurs turned to gasps and whispers of awe. Maya struggled to her feet, her eyes wide with relief and admiration. Marcus's intensity didn't waver. He was a storm of strength and precision, ensuring no one threatened his wife or her loyal canine. The street felt charged with anticipation. The tide of the conflict had just shifted. The dust settled as Marcus stood tall. The Mafia son and his guards sprawled on the pavement, groaning from the SEAL's precise takedowns. Rex, though shaken, wagged his tail cautiously, nuzzling Maya as if saying, "We made it." Maya's hands trembled, brushing sweat and dust from her uniform, but relief flooded her eyes. The immediate threat was gone, and the crowd around them erupted into murmurs of awe and respect. The Mafia son, battered and humiliated, staggered to his knees. Rage still flickered in his eyes, but he knew the confrontation had ended. With gritted teeth, he muttered an apology, first to Maya, then to Rex. Marcus' piercing gaze softened only slightly, but it was enough for Maya to see the silent acknowledgement of bravery and loyalty. For the first time that day, The street felt safe again. Officer and K9, husband and wife, had survived the storm, their bond stronger than ever. Justice, at least for now, had been restored. Just as Maya and Marcus began catching their breath, a sleek black car pulled up at the curb. The Mafia son's phone buzzed incessantly. With a defeated scowl he answered and spoke in urgent whispers, his words sharp and commanding. Within moments, the street grew tense again. He was calling his father, a high-ranking Navy official expecting intervention. Marcus' eyes narrowed, sensing the stakes had just shifted. Maya felt a chill run down her spine. The Mafia son's father was powerful, respected, and feared even within military circles. People began to murmur, sensing this confrontation might not be over. The Mafia son's voice hardened over the phone. "Dad, you need to handle this. The SEAL, he attacked me, and I won't let this go unpunished." Seconds later, the father's imposing figure appeared, eyes scanning the street. He exuded authority, a mix of military discipline and parental expectation. But as he saw his son's bruised and defiant face and Marcus standing protectively by Maya and Rex, a pause filled the air. The father's expression shifted, curiosity and realization replacing anger. He could see the truth in Marcus' eyes. His son had overstepped, and justice demanded more than blind loyalty. The crowd held its breath. Sensing a confrontation unlike anything they'd ever witnessed, the father stepped forward, his imposing presence demanding silence. The Mafia son straightened, expecting protection, but instead saw the disapproval etched across his father's face. Marcus remained calm, a silent pillar of strength, his gaze unwavering. Maya held Rex close, sensing the tension crackle like electricity. "Son." The father's voice was firm, carrying both authority and disappointment. "What you did today is unacceptable. No one, no matter their power, has the right to harm others." The Mafia son's jaw tightened, realizing his father would not intervene as he had hoped. Marcus' actions had not only defended Maya and Rex, but had upheld the principles the father himself valued. In a startling turn, the father stepped toward Marcus, placing a hand on his shoulder. "You did exactly what was right. You taught him a lesson he desperately needed," he said, nodding with respect. The Mafia son, humiliated and chastised, hung his head in shame, finally grasping the consequences of his arrogance. The crowd exhaled collectively. Maya felt relief wash over her, her hand brushing Marcus' arm. Justice had been served not through fear or force, but through courage, loyalty, and honor. Today, the lesson was clear: bravery and integrity always triumph over entitlement and power. The street slowly returned to its normal rhythm, though the echoes of the morning's chaos lingered. Maya knelt beside Rex, brushing his fur and whispering words of gratitude. The loyal German shepherd nuzzled her hand, sensing the relief and pride radiating from his partner. Marcus stood nearby, his eyes softening as he watched Maya and Rex together. Knowing they had all survived a trial few could imagine, the Mafia son, chastened and humbled, lingered behind, his guards quietly leading him away. Even in his defeat, the lesson had carved itself deep into his arrogance. The Navy father, now fully aware of the situation, gave a final nod to Marcus, a silent acknowledgement of respect for courage, skill, and unwavering moral clarity. As Maya and Marcus walked away, Rex trotting beside them, the city seemed brighter, safer. The ordeal had forged an unbreakable bond between Officer SEAL and K9. One truth remained clear: loyalty, bravery, and integrity would always triumph over power, fear, and entitlement.